Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, EMIT, Maximum Wellness and Healthy Living. Today I'm going to discuss with you guys how I endure my miscarriage. Though this video is very difficult and may be very painful to discuss, I want to tell you two things. Watch to the ending. There is a twist to the story that has a positive outcome, and also I know by me sharing my story, I am going to help a lot of women out there and a lot of couples who may be going through the same or similar situation. So, after a year of my husband and I being married, we decided to start trying to have a family. Within 3 months of trying, I was able to conceive for the first time. We were overly joyed, and I made an appointment to see a doctor. When I went to the doctor, and this was a doctor that was highly recommended, we were so excited. I saw the baby. It's a little boy, and I heard a heartbeat for the first time, and we were so happy. However, after that first appointment, we went back, and the doctor said to me, oh my gosh, you have so many fibroids. You're a fibroid factory. And my husband was very upset. And when I heard the words, I tried to ignore it and think maybe he's making a joke, but it made me feel really horrible. Okay, I have fibroids, what's going on? And then he said to me, he's like, I don't know how I'm gonna help you have this baby. If you have to have a C-section, I don't even know where to cut. And this is early in my pregnancy, and this is the reaction I'm getting from the provider who's supposed to be my provider through my entire pregnancy. I was very sad, and then he said to me, well, I can't take care of you anymore. I'm going to refer you out to someone else who deals with complicated patients like you. And I felt really, really sad and hurt. And then after that, about 3 weeks or I found out that I was pregnant, probably 4 weeks. I had my appointment at 6 weeks when I heard the baby heartbeat. So around 8 weeks, I would say, I was on my way to work. And then when I looked, I felt something wet. When I looked at myself, my whole pants had blood. So I ran out the train, went back upstairs where I live. And I was crying. I was like, oh my God, I'm bleeding so heavy. So I ran to the emergency room because I thought by this time I probably lost the baby. And they checked me up. The baby heartbeat was still there. And that's when I found out that, apparently the fibroids was making me bleed. I was probably going to the emergency room every 3 weeks because I kept bleeding heavy and I thought that I was losing the baby. And like I said, that's when I went to the doctor, the OBGYN doctor that I was seeing, who said to me, I'm a fibroid factory, and he's going to let me see someone else because he can't care for me. So he referred me to a high-risk clinic. But because of his reaction, I didn't trust him anymore. I'm like, Why would I think you have my best interest in heart if that's the way you spoke to me? And then you refer me to these people. So I was so scared. So I did my research and I found another OBGYN doctor. So I was seeing two OBGYN doctors. And the ones that he had referred me to were really nice people. They had all the updated technology to really assist me through my pregnancy. And the other person that I was going to, she didn't have much like technology, so that's why I decided to follow both of them, like see both doctors at the same time. Okay, that came and happened. I started to see new doctors. However, my pregnancy was very different. I just was not eating. For some reason, I just didn't have an appetite. Nothing tastes good. And I keep telling the providers, the doctors that I'm seeing, that I'm not eating. And they keep telling me, oh, that's okay. It's going to get better in the second trimester. But what they didn't understand, I was not eating at all. And I was explaining to them. My husband used to have to take those plastic spoons you will get with food and try to feed me. I'll eat like 1 or 2 spoons of rice because I didn't have an appetite to eat. I just couldn't eat and I couldn't drink. And I was explaining to them and they keep telling me everything is okay. They keep reassuring me. But I know something was wrong. Okay, my first trimester has finally passed. The bleeding stopped. I wasn't bleeding anymore. And then I started getting severe pain. I mean, this pain was so severe. I couldn't sleep. It was 24/7. And then I keep going back to the doctors with this problem now. And then they were explaining to me it's a fibroids, and with pregnancy it tends to grow, and that's what's happening. It's growing, and some of them it's cutting off the blood supply and it's causing it to cause you pain. And I was having immense pain. I don't know what labor felt like, but to me it felt like I was in labor. It was so bad, and they had given me medication to take, but I'm like, I don't want to take medications for pain because I have a baby in me. And these medications going to affect my baby? They reassure me, no, the medication is going to be fine. You can take the medication. But I didn't want to take the medication. But the pain was so bad that I couldn't sleep. I was in pain 24/7 that I had. The only thing to do the only option I had was to take the pain medication. I was taking pain medication more than I was eating. And all I could do was just pray to God that this baby would be okay. Because I'm not eating food, all I'm eating is pain medication. Thankfully, I had the support of my mom, who was always by my side throughout this difficult time, supporting me, my husband supporting me. But little could they do. They love me, but I gotta go through what I'm going through by myself. Yeah, I thank God that I had them there by my side, but the pain that I'm feeling, I have to endure the pain myself. So, because the pregnancy just was not going right, I didn't want to tell anybody, much people, that I was pregnant because I was afraid that I would have lost the baby. So, because my pregnancy was so complicated, they decided for me to have weekly OB visits. And I remember after going every week and seeing that the baby was doing okay, I started to feel more uplifted that, things are working out. This baby is really strong. And I remember the last visit we had, it was on a Monday. We went, the baby was fine. The doctor said the only problem was the baby was a little small, which was due to me having fibroids, and the baby didn't have much room to grow in the uterus. But otherwise, the baby was healthy, and we even see the baby like lifting up his or her hands, like it was giving us a wave. I was like, oh babe, look, the baby's giving us a wave. And the next day, I was so happy. I decided to go to one of the church institutions that I go to. And I remember sitting in the pews, and I remember saying to myself, Lord, thank you. Thank you so much for this journey. I lift this baby up to you, and I just want to say thank you. The next morning, I saw my husband getting ready. And I'm like, getting dressed. I'm like, babe, why are you getting dressed? He's like, don't you forget? Didn't you forget you have an appointment with the other doctor? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. I was like, well, we don't need to go because we just went on Monday. And today's Wednesday, the baby's fine. But then I was like, you know what? This guy's already dressed. Let me just put on my clothes and go. So we got dressed and we went to the other doctor that I had found for myself. And I remember when I went into the office, I saw some water and I just started to drink the water. I was drinking. I was like, oh my God, babe, this water tastes so good. I was like, look at me, I'm drinking. Oh my God, things are changing. Because I hadn't drank water the entire pregnancy and I was just drinking. And then the doctor said to me, oh, Alicia, you went and saw the provider on Monday. I was like, yes. She's like, okay, give me the paperwork. I was like, here's the paperwork. Then she said, you know what? Come into the office. Let me just check you before you go. I was like, but everything was not good on Monday. She's like, you know what? I know, but let me just check you before you go. Then I went into her office, and my husband and I are talking, watching something on the phone. And she's doing nothing, not paying any mind. And then she said to me, you went on Monday and they said the baby was fine. I was like, yeah. She's like, okay. And we're talking. And this is about like 10 minutes. And then felt like half an hour. I think it's about 10 minutes. And she said to me, you know what? This ultrasound machine tends to give problem. I'm going to send you somewhere else to make sure everything's okay. I was like, okay. And then I see all these people are like hurrying to take me to another room. And I'm like, alright, something is not going on. Something's not going right here. I work in the medical field. When I see you moving like this, fast like this, I know something is wrong. So now I started to get anxious. So they take me to the next room now. And it's a bigger screen, and they put the ultrasound machine in my room, and I just saw the baby just like floating. There was no heartbeat. And then the lady was like, sorry, Alicia, I'm so sorry, but there isn't a heartbeat. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't understand, like, what are you telling me? And she's like, there's no heartbeat. And I just lost it. I just remember screaming and losing, everything and crying. I keep asking myself, why me? What did I do wrong? I'm such a good person, I'm a kind person, I'm a caring person. Why does this have to happen to me? And then the doctor said the next step for me was to have a procedure it's called a D&E, that's the abbreviation. and they go inside, take the uterus, and they clean you up. So she sent me to the specialty, this place that does perform this procedure every day. And when I went, the doctors there were like, we don't know how we can do to perform this procedure, and the fibroids is kind of blocking us from getting to the baby. So we're gonna have to figure out how to do it, and we'll bring it back in. And the only thing is, it's only done on a particular day of the week, so you have to wait till another week and a half to be able to do it. Here am I, just found out that my baby has died, and I have to keep this baby in me for a week and a half. I remember going home on the train, and one of these stops, a pregnant woman came in, and she's like, excuse me, can anyone get up and give me a seat? I'm pregnant. And here am I, also pregnant too. And I'm sitting down there, and I just want to burst out in tears and cry, because I'm also pregnant too. But your baby's alive and my baby's dead. And I just remember and feeling like the whole world was against me. I was so sad, I still could not process what happened. I remember every day I'll be praying over my baby and saying, I know when I go back, they're going to hear what you had. You're going to be alive again. This is going to turn around. Maybe that's what's happening. This has to happen. So when I go back, it's going to show a miracle that the baby heartbeat is dead. And then when I went back, I asked her, I said, can you check again? I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat. There's no heartbeat. And by this time, I had to suck it up. I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I lost the baby. I gotta deal with it. Gotta move on. And I thought I was moving on. I had the procedure. I said, it's in the back of me. I'm going to move on. And one day I was using the bathroom, and I just felt something wet on my leg. And I'm like, oh, the roof is leaking now? Oh, where's this water coming from? And then when I looked down, I saw milk coming out of my breast. That's when I lost it. I started to cry. It was like, I was a mom. Here am I having milk, but there's no baby to give the milk to. And I cried and I cried and I cried. I cried. I just asked myself, why me? Why is this happening to me? A good person like me, a kind person like me. And I thought I was the only one this has ever happened to. However, when I thought that was the worst thing that could have happened to me, I ended up having a lot of other complications. And those complications almost cost my life. And I remember about a week after having the procedure, I started to have fevers. And I was so tired by this time of going in the hospital every week with the baby, and also having the procedure and staying in the hospital at night. I was like, no, I'm not even going anywhere again. I'm going to deal with this fever by myself. But it's funny how God uses people. My supervisor keep asking me, when am I coming back to work? Because I need to come back to work. She needs me. And I'm like, she knows my story and she's bothering me, when am I coming back to work? So I just got upset. I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling well. I will still go to work. She wants me to come to work. I'll go to work. and I had a fever, like I was shaking, and I didn't go to the emergency room. But it's funny, God used my supervisor to bring me to work that day, because that day that I went to work, I used to work night shift. That night I went to work, I never left the hospital until 3 weeks after. For some reason, I was having fevers. The doctors couldn't figure out what was going on with me. They thought products of the pregnancy were still left inside of me. Nothing. And then on top of that, I had some bleeding disorders that kept me bleeding. I had to receive a lot of blood transfusion. It was a lot of complications. And eventually, I had to have a myomectomy. And I have a different video where I will talk to you about my myomectomy and what I did to stop my fibroids from growing back. But I had to have a myomectomy, and the doctors were afraid for me to have surgery because of this bleeding disorder that I was having, and they were trying to figure out how are they going to have surgery on me. I had to have this special medication, and it so happened the insurance wasn't covering the medication. But God used this provider who said, you know what, this young woman needs to have this surgery. She cannot continue to go like this. I will give her the medication. And he gave me the medication that day to have the surgery. After the surgery was done, the surgeon who performed the surgery on me came to my room and spoke to me. And she said, Alicia, had we waited one more week to have the surgery, you would have lost your uterus, because you had an infected fibroid inside of you, and your uterus was going gangrene or was becoming very infected. And she said, hadn't they waited one more week, I would have had a hysterectomy. I would have lost my uterus. I would have lost my womb. Thankfully, everything went well. I had the procedure. And then I looked at life differently, because when I thought losing that baby was the hardest thing, I realized losing my life was much worse, and I was still here. And a year later, I went back to work, but this time I was working in a different unit, and God made me work in labor and delivery, and I was assisting moms give birth. That's where my passion of becoming a doula came to pass, and this is the positive outcome of this whole entire story. While working as a labor and delivery nurse, I was able to meet a lot of mothers and a lot of couples who were experiencing miscarriages and enduring stillbirths, or it's called a fetal demise. And God used me in these people's lives to help them. I remember one couple that I was assisting. I assisted a couple of couples, but I remember, two of them. I remember one couple I assisted, and I was helping her, and she said to me, why me? And I explained to her my story, and I said, I know your pain, and I said, please, I know you're asking yourself, you're hoping it's a dream, and you're asking yourself, what did you do wrong? And you're trying to think. I said, there's some things in life we just don't understand why it happened. And at that time in my life, I didn't understand why it happened. But me being there to comfort her during her time of grief showed me that God was using me to be there for her and for her husband at that particular time. And I was able to assist many couples through that painful period in their time. So that's a positive outcome of the story. I love helping people, and to be able to endure that experience, so I could not only sympathize but empathize with someone, and God used me to be there for them. I'm thankful for that. And I just want to say to any couple or any woman who has faced a miscarriage or has endured a stillbirth, I want to please encourage you guys, do not deal with this experience by yourself, to seek help. At the ending of the video, I'm going to post some information for women who live in New York City where they can get help. I believe you guys can call your 311 or areas where you can get information, and they could direct you to people who can help you. But please, couples, do not go through this by yourself. What also has helped me is my religious institution has given me peace. That's important, but it's also important that you also seek help from a professional as well. Okay? I hope my story will help a lot of couples. And if my story have touched you, please click the like button, because by you clicking the like button, my story can be shared to other people who might be experiencing this. And please subscribe for more of the videos that I'll be posting. Okay? Thank you, and have a blessed and wonderful day.